Have you ever experienced any challenges with trying to pay your vendors on time? Do you believe that, making timely payments to your vendors is essential to your short-term rental business? Well, today I'm going to be talking all about how short-term rental investors and hosts can actually do better when it comes to the accounts payable. And whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a while, making sure that you're paying your vendors is essential in order to be successful in this industry. Well, if you're new here, my name is Rosalind. I'm with Riggins Bookkeeping Solutions, and I help multi six figure real estate investors and short term rental hosts and co hosts basically increase their cash flow without learning QuickBooks Online using our profit clarity system. So if you're watching live or catching the replay, if you don't mind, just letting me know where you're watching from. That would be great to know where our reach is. And so today I really want to talk to you about accounts payable and really how you should be paying your vendors. So kind of want to start off with the common concern that I have whenever I am talking to a new potential client when they come to me and they're like, hey, I need a bookkeeper. I want to make sure that I'm doing things right. And the number one thing that I see with a lot of investors and hosts is how they're paying their vendors. So I get it. You want to make sure that you're paying your cleaner as soon as possible. You want to make sure that you are keeping your cleaners happy, your handyman happy, so that way, your business continue to operate the way that it is. Well, there's some things that I want to kind of point out and to address with you to make sure that one, you're running your business the way you want to run your business and not allowing your vendors to dictate how you're going to run your business. So, oftentimes what I hear is I have hosts and investors who are basically stating their cleaners want to get paid as soon as they leave a house, which, yes, in theory, that is great for your cleaner and great for your handyman to get paid immediately. But the problem that you run into is now you're allowing your vendor to dictate your business. So, the best way that you want to approach the situation is to really have a process in place. And so, I'll kind of talk a little bit more about that and how to make sure that you are running your business the way you want it to run it. So, I kind of want to talk first a little bit about why, managing your accounts payable is important. So, outside of making timely payments, you want to make sure that you are avoiding any late payments. And another thing that happens, sadly, is that you may forget to pay a cleaner or a handyman when they provide a service to one of your properties. So, making sure that you have a good process in place. And when I say process, you want to be receiving an invoice for those services. So that way you have documentation for that specific clean or work that was done at a property. In the event that you ever need to recall if a payment was actually made, you have that invoice and the payment to match together. That way you can have both of them together to basically make things a little bit smoother for you. Another thing of why it's important to have a process when it comes to your account management or accounts payable management process, you want to make sure that you're building trust with your vendors. And that really comes from just having an actual process in place that works for both of you. And then last, which I always love, is negotiating power. So if you're paying your vendors on time, you can actually get a little bit of leeway. Maybe you're not having to pay your cleaners after every clean. Maybe you can pay them at the end of the week. Or another option could be a biweekly or a monthly option where you're basically grouping all of the properties that they clean and you pay them at one specific time versus having to pay them multiple times throughout the week or multiple times throughout the month. It just kind of makes things a little bit easier for you as far as managing everything for you. So I want to leave you with 5 tips basically to make your accounts pay accounts payable process a little bit better. So number one, I kind of hit on this earlier, and that's staying organized. So by having a invoice from them, you can have that documentation and then you can put it in your accounting software. From there, you can then issue your payment. And now you have your invoice and your payment matching the two of them together. Makes things so much easier. I will tell you this from a bookkeeper. We love having documentation for payment. So when you're just quickly sending a Venmo or a Zelle to your vendor, Yes, that's great for you, but it makes our job a little bit difficult when we're trying to match cleaned versus what the payment is sent out, especially if you're paying them differently than actual invoices that you have documented in your accounting software. Number two is setting clear payment policy. So if your policy is going to be that you pay after each clean, great. If you pay at the end of the week, end of the month, whatever your payment policy is going to be, have that clear and defined. Make things a lot easier for you. Number three, when you're trying to manage your cash flow, this is important when you're trying to manage funds for other people. So when you're getting the fee for the cleaning, when you're basically say you charge 150, $200, whatever it is that you charge the guests for the clean, you want to make sure that you have that money up front collected in your bank account before you actually pay, unless you have a process where you have the funds available to cover that clean if you haven't actually gotten the funds from say Airbnb or Verbo yet. So that kind of helps you when it comes to managing your cash flow there. Number four is going to be negotiating your payment terms. So, whatever you have established with your vendor, whether you pay after each clean or at the end of the month, whatever you have that's established, if you have your terms that's favorable for both parties, that will work, and just making sure that everybody is fully aware of that. Number five is going to be embrace automation. So when I say this, oftentimes what happens is everybody's like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to have AI run my business. Okay. Yes, great. AI is great. I love it. There are some stipulations when it comes to that. You do not want AI to be running your business. And the reason why is because there is chance for some error. Sometimes what happens when people use AI, especially with QuickBooks, there are going to be potential errors. So I want to say this as politely as possible. Yes, AI is great, but don't solely use that as your way of trying to get out of doing the work in your business. Basically, what I mean by embracing automation, I want you to make sure that you have a way that one, that you're receiving your invoices from your vendors. So, for example, we use a software called Dex, and it basically receives all of our invoices for our clients. So basically, what happens is an email, say, for example, you get your invoice through email. That email is then pushed to our software called Dex. That information is now extracted from the receipt or the invoice and then pushed over to QuickBooks. That's part of automation right there. The next part is going to be how you're going to be paying them. So, if in fact you want to set up like an auto pay where that information is then entered into another software, then pushes over to a payment software that then pays it for you, that can work. Or you can have it to where you're automatically paying your vendors at the first of the month, whatever the negotiated rate is that you're going to be paying them. So whatever is from your invoice, that's what you'll then pay them, and set it up on a like automatic draft so that way you have that already taken care of for you without having to one manually write a check, because I know some of my hosts and investors are still manually writing checks, which I understand, but we need to get away from checks because we have a lot of payment processors out there that can make our job so much easier. Or you have the option of ACH payments, which will also make things easier without manually writing individual checks to pay your vendors. So, like I said, this topic was brought about because I actually was speaking to a prospect earlier this week who does not have an accounts payable process in place. So I wanted to make sure that I one addressed what an accounts payable process is, as well as some tips on how to basically implement it and have an effective process that works for you. So, like I said, I had 5 tips that was stay organized, setting clear payment policies, monitoring your cash flow, negotiating payment terms, and the fifth one is embracing automation. So, if you are having challenges with your accounts payable process, or if you want something smoother, definitely comment AP below, and I'll reach out to you, get you on my calendar, see how we can best help you smooth out that process for you and help you to manage your cash flow. If you like content like this, feel free to like and join our Facebook group. So we have, you can like our Facebook page, which is Riggins Bookkeeping. And that's a Facebook page as well as an Instagram. We have our Facebook group. It is Cash Flow Strategies for Vacation Rental Managers. And that's where you can actually get more information specifically for short term rental industry about bookkeeping, accounting, those type of things that will be helpful. We definitely saw that that was a need for the industry. So that's why we created the group. So you can go ahead and join there. And if there's any topic that you would like more information on, feel free to comment below, or you can send me a message and we can kind of get that on the calendar so we can bring that to Facebook and other channels that we are. Providing this information. That way, other people can be aware of what things that they can be doing to make their business run a little bit smoother and also get more money in their pocket. So, that's all that I have for you today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and we will talk soon. Bye.